So last class, we finally introduced figured bass, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, like we did before, is I'm gonna take the snowman here, Samuel L. Jackson, and we're going to, I'm gonna grab the part of the snowman that's in the bass, the fifth, the third, and the root. And then we're gonna pretend it's a tonic triad, and you're gonna tell me what the Roman numeral will be with the figure bass. Okay? Sound good? Jeremiah, you want to start this up here?
Sure.
Okay, so it's a one chord. Good. All right. Derek.
2. Oh, 3.
It's a one chord. One chord.
Oh.
One chord. So what would the Roman numeral be with the figured bass? The Roman numeral doesn't change, it's the figured bass that's going to change. This is, what's the inversion? If this isn't the, what is this? First?
Oh, okay. Wait, would that be first inversion?
It'd be first inversion. Good.
Okay.
So when we have a tonic triad in first inversion, what's the Roman numeral going to have with the figured bass?
Oh, 1, 6.
Yeah, feel free to, yes, excellent, good job. Good job. It just takes, gotta get in here, that's okay, no problem. Carissa?
That would be a second inversion, so it would be 164.
164, good. All right.
1.
1.
164.
Good.
164.
Good. Melody?
1 6
Good.
1
And
164.
good. Okay, so that's a good review. That's pretty much it. Okay, 164. 1 for position, 1 6 for first inversion, and 164 for second inversion. Okay, very good. So I think we're ready to jump into Super Snowman. You ready? Super Snowman. Okay. So what is the Super Snowman? Duh. It's just 4 notes of stacked thirds. The same principle that I talked about, how all harmony is built on thirds, minor and major thirds. So we're stacking this, one type of third, stack major or minor, major or minor. Okay, you never add a augmented or diminished third. Doesn't happen. Okay? So we have, of course, the root. We have the third and the fifth, right? We got that down. And now we have to introduce a new person to complete a 4-voice chord. And go figure, it's the 7th. The 7th. Okay. Usually when I'm talking about 7th chords, I'm talking about 7th chords. I actually do that. Probably it should mean the 7th chords, but nobody adds the article, it gets a little bit clunky. So more than likely it does mean the 7th, okay? But we just generally refer to them as 7th chords, okay? All right, so the 7th completes the Super Snowman. So for Samuel L. Jackson here, we count it as his hat. That's the benefit of the hat. The hat is the 7th. Okay? So we have now, let's put it there. The root, the third, the fifth, and the 7th. So now let's go around, and I'm gonna grab random parts of the snowman. Some of you are gonna get lucky and get the new member. Some of you are just gonna have to be filling in the blanks. I appreciate that. Let's start with Mia.
The 7th.
Good. And Allison.
The 7th.
And Melody.
The 5th.
Good. And Grace.
The
Good.
3rd.
Good. straightforward. Let's do the same thing, except I'm going to do it point to, oh, okay, where's that? I'm going to point to a generic super snowman. We're going to do the same thing, and you're going to say the root, the fifth, the third, or the seventh, sorry, I went out of order. Start with Mia. Good, and Allison. Good. Melody. Grace.
Third.
Good.
The seventh.
And
The seventh.
good, and
The seventh.
good, and
7.
good, and good. Now, with the addition of another tone, we've had root position, first inversion, second inversion, and now we have another inversion, third inversion. Okay? Third inversion. Anyone want to take a guess what third inversion has in the base?
The seventh.
The seventh, yeah. Duh, it's the one with the, yeah, the seventh. Okay? So when the seventh is in the base, it is in third inversion. We're very shortly going to learn those figured bass symbols, but we still have a decent amount to cover before we jump into that. Please.
I'm not sure what you're teaching, but I want to take your class.
Awesome.
What are we learning with the snowman?
We are learning about super snowmen.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
You know, that crossed my mind. Like, are we talking about triads here?
yes. So yeah, the seventh,
Uh-huh.
the fifth,
Uh-huh.
the third, and the root.
Uh-huh.
We're just learning.
That's gotta go on Music at BJ. You gotta use
His
it.
name is Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
I love it. I would take theory if I got to come look at Florida
Thank you.
snowmen.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Bridget. Excellent. Good plan. I didn't plan. I'm videotaping. That was perfect. All right, great.
Wait, why are you in this? Oh.
To put myself in your shoes so I can better understand.
Oh.
Yes. There's things that you don't realize you're doing unless you put a camera on. You go, oh wait a second. Whoa. Every time I say the word the, I raise my right hand and go, I never noticed that. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so let's go again. Except this time you're going to tell me the inversion. Okay, the inversion. We're going to throw in third inversion. Exciting. Okay. All right. So let's do we want to do the snowman first and then try it, or we want to jump straight onto the board? What do you think? Snowman, let's do it. Okay. So you're going to tell me the inversion if whatever I'm holding with the snowman is in the base. Let's start with Jeremiah. Great. Root, good. Carissa,
That's the third.
good.
Second.
Good.
Third position.
Good.
Third inversion.
Good.
First inversion.
Good.
Second inversion.
And
Third position.
good. All right. Got it down. Now let's do the super snowman. Okay. Let's start with me again.
Third position. Third inversion.
Good.
First inversion.
Grace.
Second inversion. Third position.
Third
Third inversion.
Good.
That is the second inversion.
Yeah, see, it starts to get a little tricky because
Root position.
good and third inversion. All right. All right, we're on our way. Before we jump into the figure bass, I want to talk about qualities because as you can imagine with the seventh chords, the qualities get a little more complicated. Now, as far as the complexity is concerned, if you think about all the permutations that you could have, well, if this is a minor, 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 it's not like that. It's, remember, like the triads that we had before in our diatonic world, we're drawing from the diatonic scale degrees. The same is true for the super snowmen. Okay, they're all derived from the same diatonic set, which means that the one chord, if it's a seventh chord, will always be a major and another kind. But we need to talk about how we deduce our tool that we use to describe the quality of these triads. Okay, to discuss the qualities of these triads, what we need to do is we have a quality that's indicated here and a quality that's indicated here, and then seventh chord. Okay? So the first quality refers to the triad, the quality of the triad. So let's go ahead and put a clef on here. So this is a major triad. So the first word refers to the major. Go get this going. I will also very quickly reference your books. The second quality refers to the quality between the root and the seventh. So this would be a major seventh. Major triad. So we would call this a major seventh chord. Now here's the best part. We don't have to bother with the names of the qualities for most of the diatonic chords. You say 1/7, you're good. Isn't that great? That's nice. Because it's always going to be the same in any diatonic key. Diatonicism, remember, is the basis by which we're drawing from everything. It's our world right now. Eventually, the real world of music does expand out of that, but it's still acting as a basis. So, if I say 1/7 in the ether, in anywhere, more than likely the default interpretation would be a major seventh chord. And as long as it's in my major. Yes, Chris?
Wait, so is the third on top major?
So,
Is that
no.
what
No.
it is? Okay.
No. It's this interval right here that's major. So what you're doing is you're actually ignoring this interval. You're not paying attention to that. You're not worried about that. The quantification simply in the quality of this triad, because if there was a random quality like Kerblockenstock quality, and this was a major seventh, it'd be a Kerblockenstock major seventh chord. Okay? And whatever it takes to quantify the Kerblockenstock. The good news is that, of course, there's only going to be 3 triad qualities that you have to worry about in our diatonic world. Remember, this is our fleeting reference to that chord that it's way out there, and it's in Alabama now. It's on the coast, heading for tropics. It's gone now. Okay, so yeah, that's it. The quality of the triad of the supersnowman and the quality of the root to the seventh, which is a seventh. Okay, which perhaps this is what we could call a seventh chord because it's quantifying now. At that point, our language starts to break down. Lydia, how you doing over there?
Slowly losing it.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. Try to get to less language. Just think real simply. There's 2 words, 2 quality words. First word means for the triad. The second quality means for the interval between the root and the seventh. Yeah, it's just that thing and then that thing. Okay, good. So this is a list on page 154 of all the diatonic triads. So we fit all that in there. Okay. Of all the diatonic triads, this would be in G major. You can see that it lists the triad quality. So let's take in G major. The G, let me get my pen and pointer. The G, major seventh chord. You can see that it lists the quality of the triad, major, quality of the seventh, major. Then it says the name that we just discussed, major seventh chord. Now this word common name, major seventh, that's more referring to chord symbols. We don't, in diatonic harmony, we don't bother with naming the quality of the tonic triad in diatonic major. We just say once, we don't worry about that. We will have chords that we will have specific names for, nobody here too. Likewise, this abbreviation, that's kind of this is kind of the book's own thing. It's not, but you can kind of see where it makes sense. And then the Roman numeral, probably more important than anything else. Probably by now we need to, I want to go through the different qualities that you're going to see first, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so there are really only